So, finally managed to pick myself up a 2000 DRZ400. A little bit excited because I've been after one of these for quite some time, and it's popped up at a very good price. The story is that it runs, but it just needs a battery and stator, which at first glance seems like bullshit. Taking all the plastics off already. Battery's definitely dead, so I've got a jumper battery hooked up. The stator, I don't know, haven't got it started yet, but the fuel lines are looking pretty shitty. I'm going to say this hasn't been started in many years. Everything's sort of got a bit of surface rust on it and just not great condition. Looks like it's been sitting out in the sun for many years. The fuel smells like it's many years old. So not something that's just turned stale. This has been sitting for years like this. The battery on, dash illuminates, but there's no display, so I'm going to say it's either impact damage or water damage in the LCD. Grips, could do with some replacing, but they're acceptable for now. Not sure what the switch is for. I'm guessing it could be for these PC fans he's mounted in the radiator. I guess it's one way to get around overheating if that's your issue. Yeah, cleaner looks pretty average, but I mean we'll replace that spark plug, the oil and filter, also radiator and overflow is empty, but we'll get around that. No indicators or tail light yet, but we'll get around that also. If there's anything else to show at this stage. Doesn't start. I did get a click or two from the starter, but then nothing. With the jumper battery, I have bridged the start solenoid, and it sort of wants to turn, but I don't really get much. It's almost like there's something stopping it. Where are we? And so almost like the cylinder's filled with fuel, or hopefully not water. But we'll, I guess, pull that apart and see how we go. Dash, I do already have one organised. Just works out. I've been watching one very cheap for some time, so I've organised to go pick that up later on, plug that in and see how it goes. The only thing is I can't work out how many kilometers this actually has with the stash. The one I'm picking up has 27,000, so let's just hope it's somewhere similar, and we'll go from there. One thing I did forget to mention is, as you can see, it's a horrible shade of early 2000s Suzuki yellow, which some people like. I'm not really a fan of yellow, but the goal is to make this look like my Sanchez on GTA 5. So it doesn't really matter that these plastics are looking all faded and nasty looking, so we'll probably attempt plastic dip. I've never used it before, but it's supposed to be easier than painting, and I'm pretty shit at painting. Also got to do something about this horrible red exhaust. Maybe heat paint black, or I don't know, maybe an aftermarket exhaust. I'm pretty sure they didn't come out standard red, but I don't like it. And it goes into white. That's definitely been painted. But see how we go. Rear brakes appear to be dragging, but that'll most likely just be a sticky piston, or even the slide, so that's sat for many years. And there was, from memory, a bit of movement in the rear wheel bearings, or it could be the hub, I'm not sure, but we'll pull that apart too and have a look at it. Just got the tank off, and I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like an aggressive jerk. So that's the condition of the plug. As you can see, it looks like water's been sitting on for some time. The inside doesn't look so bad, but there's a bit of water up in there still, so we'll get that cleaned up and see if we've got a spark and then do it. Pulled the plug out, there was no spark, but then I pulled this ignition switch apart and it's full of spiders and other crap. There we are. And don't know if you can see it. Right there on that corner, the piece of the board where the starter button is broken off. So I'm going to show you. There we are. As you're pushing the button, the whole board's moving up and wasn't actually making contact. But if you were to just push it like that now, it will kick. That's a good sign. The engine sounds like it's turning over a lot more freely now. Obviously there's no plug in there, no compression, but even when I first pulled the plug out it didn't turn over that easy. Now I've got spark. I don't have a new spark plug today, so I've cleaned this one up with a wire brush as best I can. It's looking tidy. I'm going to put that back in, repair this board. There appears to also be no oil, so we'll drain that out. I don't have a filter today, I've got to wait till tomorrow for that. But I'll put some oil in at least, and then we'll get some fuel onto the carb and see if we can get it to fire. Okay, so I've got coolant in, topped up the oil, got the jumper leads. Now going over to my car because that jumper battery I had is garbage, and that's the reason I took it out of the car. But I did have it just running just now, put a little bit of fuel in the carb. May still need some the carb clean, but it seems to run on a small amount of fuel in there, so have a look at this. I'm happy with that for now. I will put a little bit more fuel in, check the charge rate, because the guy claimed the stator was dead, but we'll see how much it is charging, if any, or if anything at all. Might flush the tank out, look at cleaning the carby tonight, maybe not, and then start looking at doing the dash and see if we can work out why the headlight's not working. Should be easy. So I've replaced the stator on this now. The issue before was the charging system wasn't working. It was running fine, just seemed like it needed a bit more of a tune because it didn't idle quite right. But it ran, new stator's in, and now it doesn't want to start. You can see as it'll crank over and occasionally we'll get a single fire through the cylinder, but not enough to run. It appears as though it's almost the timing's not quite right. So fuel's on. See if we can get it to do it. I haven't tried for a couple of days. Let's see what it does. May have to shit my pants a little bit. Yeah, that's about all it does. Pretty sure it's timing related. I've cleaned out the carby, I didn't film that either. I will clean up the tank again because it still smells like old fuel. I'm not sure whether that's some residual from when I flushed it out or whether the small amount I put in there has gone bad. It was sitting in the Jerry for about a month. but I'll flush out tonight. I've got some fresh stuff. I'll see if that makes any difference. And fresh undies are on. Also today, mirrors arrived. A little bit exciting. Got a lefty, righty. I believe we'll just go straight in there. Doesn't look like the thread's been pulled. Hopefully it just goes straight in. Don't want to have to do anything dodgy. Not overly excited about mirrors, but they're there, so they need to go on for safety. We'll also get those on. Another thing that I did have an issue with is the speedo. The first one, hold on a sec, put these down here. Okay, first one, the LCD was dead. I did pick up another one very cheaply. This is it. I'll show you. Need another hand. Just got all this hanging here because I've been playing around with wiring. It seems everything from the indicators and the side stand safety switch is missing. So I will also get to that eventually. This one, display is fine. 27,000K is pretty high, but it's not from this bike, so who cares. When turning the little speedo drive in the back, will display absolutely nothing. So I pulled the old one apart with the damaged LCD, and I pulled the pulse generator out because it's just a physical speedo cable. Turns this wheel, and it will then generate a pulse, and that will calculate your speed. I swapped the pulse generator out, which is from these 3 wires here from memory, and still absolutely no change. I haven't got a chance to film any of that yet. So I'm not really sure what the issue is, whether it's on the motherboard or where exactly that's stored. So the next thing I'm going to try is, I might be able to see it better on the other one, but this, actually I'll get the other one. So this is the other one with the damaged LCD, as you can clearly see, but where is it? So it's not just a simple matter of unplugging this one. Excuse my poor video skills. It's hard to see with poor light, but it's soldered to the board. So what I'm going to try is unsolder this. Where are we? Okay, light. I'm going to try unsolder this ribbon cable. Not sure from this side with the buttons. I don't really want the heat to get in and destroy those buttons. Or whether we go from the other side of this board right in there. But I'll desolder that. I'm not sure whether the kilometers are stored in that chipset right there, or whether there's something in the actual screen. But I will attempt to change that into this board into the other screen, and we'll see how we go from there. This is the, where are we? Sorry, I'm not very organised here. This is the little pulse generator I was talking about. Speedo goes in, turns a wheel. I'm not sure whether it's a Hall effect sensor or a light type. As each one of these holes or the solder goes past, it generates a pulse, and that tells you how fast you're going. Obviously, that's a simplified version, but that's a pulse generator from the other one, which swapped them, it didn't fix. So I'll desolder that LCD from the board tonight and re-attempt to get that going, basically.